SRE is a discipline that combines the software and both the system relay and system engineering principles. So as an SRE, right, the site reliability engineer, the main focus was on it depends on creating the high reliability software systems. When I am saying this, actually, let us say we have two domains. Okay, one is IT operations, or maybe the system engineers, or maybe one of the guy called software engineers. Let us say we have two domains. One is software engineering domain, another is the system engineering domain. So both of these guys handles the different types of work. Some of those includes code development. Let us say the software engineering. Okay, what does software engineering have? Those guys will do the code development. The next is automations. You know automation, right? To reduce the manual work, and with the use of the code, we will automate the manual work. Okay, so software engineering guys does the code development of the microservices. We will be having the automation of services. Okay, and then we will be having the quality assurance guys, I mean the testing guys. Okay, all of this comes under the software engineering. Okay, and the next thing which we have is the system engineering, actually system engineering work or the IT operations, we can call it as anything actually. Okay, these type of works include the system engineering or IT ops. Okay, what these guys mainly focus is on infrastructure design. When I am saying infrastructure design, let us say we have the systems in every organization, we will be having the servers or instances. Okay, in order to maintain those servers or the instances, we will be managing those workloads, we will be having the high availability. So all this work will be taken care by the system engineering guys. In the system engineering, even the cloud teams come in, the IT ops guys come in, all these type of works, all these guys comes in. Okay, so what is SRE here? SRE is a design or discipline that combines the both the software engineering and the system engineering work. And what we are ensuring is highly reliable systems. We want to create highly scalable and reliable systems. Let us say we have the Amazon. So what this SRE guys does, using these both disciplines, either the software engineering, in the software engineering we will be having the code development guys, automation guys, or else the QA guys, or in the system engineering we have the infra guys, or the IT ops guys, or the support guys. We will be using this discipline to maintain or scale the high reliable systems. Okay, is there any query on that?
No. Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is, what is the difference between DevOps and SRE? Most of the times you will also hear a term called DevOps guys, okay, and SRE guys. You need to understand the difference between both our DevOps as well as the both the DevOps as well as our SRE domain. Okay, in the DevOps you will be having both the development and operations guy working together. Actually, the DevOps concept came in order to close the bridge or close the gap between the both the development team and the operations team. Okay, in the past, actually, in the IT industry, development guys used to write a code after the design was provided, and then they will pass on that code to the operations guys, and the operations guys used to deploy. But the challenge that used to come is the code that was being provided by the development guys was not able to being deployed, or the errors used to, or the bugs used to occur while the operations guys was using that code to deploy it actually. So there used to be a lot of miscommunication, there used to be a lot of gap. So at that time DevOps came in actually. So using this DevOps, what this DevOps you actually uses as the principles is collaboration. Both the development guys, I mean the guys who used to build the code or the write the code, used to sit down along with the operations team. They will discuss their uh, what they want to do, how it needs to be developed, or what are all they're doing. They used to collaborate closely using some of the tools. In IT industry, we have a lot of tools, either to collaborate it, like where we get the code, either using the GitHub in the SCMs, uh, and then we used to like integration tools, okay, or the CI/CD tools, or the monitoring tools. How the code is being worked, is there any bugs or not after being deployed? So using a set of tools, They closed the gap between both the development team and the observation team. Okay, so this is obviously the work of the DevOps guys. So in any practical industry, when you see the DevOps guys, what they practically do in an industry, let us say theoretical part is done, but we will discuss the practical what a DevOps guy actually does in a company. Okay, he will be having the code, which is actually most of the times is being written by the development team. In every industry, we will be having a development team separately. Okay, and that once the development code is released, I mean when I say released, they will store it in a tool called GitHub. Okay, they will store the code in a repository. So what the beginner of a DevOps team will do is he will integrate with a CI/CD tool. Let us consider that CI/CD tool is Jenkins. Okay, so we will be having the GitHub code repository. Okay, GitHub is one of the tool where most of the developers will store their code. In the ongoing sessions, we will discuss Git and GitHub as well, and we will do practical sessions. First of all, in this GitHub, the developers will store the code. Okay. Most of the times, it is not the DevOps guys who will write the code. Okay, we will have the developers in the industry, and they will write the code. Once they write the code, what our DevOps guys will do here is they will integrate it. Actually, let us say we have new features. It is not always right. We already discussed in our previous session. Whenever a new feature or new application is being developed, that will be being developed as a microservice. So whenever if you want to introduce a new microservice, you will be writing it a code, and here you will be having a CI/CD tool called Jenkins. So we will be creating pipelines here. So whenever the code is being stored here or whenever the code is updated here, and automatically a pipeline will trigger. We will provide the conditions in this Jenkins pipeline. So this pipeline will trigger, and then based on the containerized tools or the deployments tool, we have the Docker and all those actually. Okay, Docker. This is the containerized tool where we will store our code in the containers, and then we will use to deploy. And then we will be having the Kubernetes tool. This is like the container orchestration tool used to manage the application. I mean, manage the containers. And then obviously it will be deployed in the applications, and from there we will monitor it through the new monitoring tools. Okay, this is obviously most of the times what this is just one of the work what most of the times a DevOps guy does. Okay, this is the work of a DevOps guy. So most of the times, if you see here, right, he will create the pipelines, he will integrate it, he will deploy it, and he will work on the logs. And so most of the times, it is something like here it involves both the development work as well as the operations work. Okay, but what our comes in, our job is SRE. Okay, as we already discussed, we are a combination of both software engineering and the system engineering. Okay, so our thing is we will be creating the scalable and the highly reliable system. Okay, so the first thing is we will also do the automations, we will do the monitoring, we will do the incident management. There will be some new terms for you, don't worry, we will discuss each and everything. Let us say something like incident management process. This is one of the most crucial part of the site reliability engineering. Okay, which is very easy. Actually, it's just practical on how we handle it. I will explain you like each step by step. First of all, automation. Okay, similar to this here, not we are most of the times we don't even go and create the CI/CD pipelines and everything, but I am not telling we won't create at all, but we need to know. It is just like the uh, it depends on the organization to organization. Okay, the requirements, it always changes. Every organization doesn't have the same for each and everything, but I am telling you like what it covers for the most of the organization. First, you will be have to provide do some automations. You will be having multiple number of tools. Okay, first of all, you will be having the two types of OS. Okay, most of the times you will be working on the Linux in the large scale. Okay, in the Linux you will be working in either Ubuntu or in the CentOS or in the Red Hat. These are the flavors actually. flavors of the Linux operating system. And obviously, everyone is aware of the Windows OS. Okay. So there will be two types of servers you will be working on, either on the Linux servers or either on the Windows servers. Okay. So the first thing is, on the Linux servers, you need to manage it. First of all, as an SRE, what we said, we need to create highly reliable system. Here, system means either Linux systems or Windows systems. Okay. In the Linux system, you will be having multiple flavors. When you will be operating on it, like Ubuntu have a certain set of commands, or CentOS has a certain different set of commands, and Red Hat has a, but the purpose doesn't changes, and the command also doesn't vary too much actually. They all have a similar closer relationship. So whenever we execute it, right, it will be too easy actually. We can discuss it. And the next thing is automation, right? While we are talking about automation, SRE uses automation to reduce the toil. Toil means manual work or repetitive work. So let us say you will be doing always some repetitive work, like you have a Linux server and you have some application launched on this Linux server. So let us say some service you are monitoring using some monitoring tool on a Linux server. You have this Linux server. On the top of the Linux server, you have an application launched on it. In order to run that application, you have a service running on this Linux server. So for that service or to know the status, you are using a monitoring tool to monitor it, any monitoring tool. Okay. So once you are monitoring, you got to know that the service went down. Okay. And you are observing that service is at least going down once in a week or twice in a week at the same point of time, or twice in a day or thrice in a day. Okay. For now you haven't found any issues actually, either in the logs or anything. So you wanted to do some automation. Okay. Automation in the sense, you wanted to, don't want to directly go into the login into the server, then go to the service, then restart the service or check the logs. All this is manual work. First time you can do it, second time you can do it, third time you can do it, but it is always the same repetitive work. Okay. You have many better things to do as an SRE. So at that point of time, you will use this automation. So you will write some scripting. Scripting means either you will use, for Linux you will use shell scripting, or maybe if you want to automate some other things, for Windows you will use the PowerShell scripting. Okay. So you will use these scripting languages to automate these services. Okay. I mean manually, or without using these manual steps, either login, you will, in the form of scripting, you will tell like, hey, go to the system, then once going into the system, check the status of the particular service, if or else, and then you will tell them to like, once the status is there, if it is not loading, then go ahead and restart the particular service. Okay. Then provide the logs if so and so necessary. So you will write some scripting, and automatically whenever the service goes down, this automation will trigger, and automatically the service will come up. So you are reducing that particular downtime here. So as one of the responsibility of SRE is, you need to create the scalable and reliable systems. Reliable means you want to reduce the downtime as much as possible, rather than doing the right, the alert need to trigger, then you need to check, maybe you will be in the some other work. Okay. Again, you need to go and you need to restart the service. It is all manual type of work. So you are doing this automation to reduce the complete, that gap actually. You are reducing the downtime. And the next thing is monitoring. Okay. You always, as an SRE, you will be configuring the monitoring. Okay. You will be creating certain things called alerts. Are you aware of a term called this alerts, Sasi?
Yes.
Yeah. Alerts, right? Whenever some issue triggers, you will be creating an alert, so that whenever, let us say, high disk usage on a server. Okay. Whenever, let us say you have 1 terabyte in a server, and whenever it, something happens, like high usage. Okay. High usage of some process or high usage of some application consumes the entire 1 terabyte in a server. So at that particular point of time, the application entirely goes down because it doesn't respond, because of high usage of disk usage. So at that particular point of time, you need some alerting to let you know that, hey, something weird is going on in the so and so server. You need to take a look as soon as possible, or else the server goes down. Okay. So at that particular point of time, you will use some monitoring tools, either networking. We will be having the networking side of monitoring tools. On the application side of the logs, we'll be having the application monitoring tools. And on the server side, we will having the server like Grafana, Prometheus, and New Relic, obviously, the most using tool actually. Okay, which we are going to discuss in even in our coming up sessions. Okay, so we will use this monitoring tools to know the status of the servers, or their how they are behaving, or their health status, so that even we will reduce the downtime. Or let us say, okay, we have this application, again Amazon or Flipkart. So in the application we will be having the multiple microservices. When I say the microservice, okay, when I set the microservice, let us say we have the jersey section. Okay, jersey section in Flipkart. Okay, and you don't know, like, and in the jersey section of microservice, something went down, and you don't have a monitoring for that. And then you will be looking like, hey, what happened? You don't even know like what went wrong. It may take like 1 day or 2 days for it to figure it out. But if you have the monitoring for that particular application, or for that particular microservice, you will be able to understand like what went wrong, and immediately you can either resolve the issue, or you can involve the particular team members, okay, or particular relevant team on which that particular issue handles, and you will reduce the downtime and increase the reliability. Okay, all this will be happening only if you have the monitoring of each and every part of it. Okay, and the next thing is incident management process. As an SRE, right, incident management process is very important. In a brief, I will tell you like what is incident management process, and then in the coming sessions we will go into a deep dive into incident management process. Mostly tomorrow we will go into incident management process. Incident management process is something like, let us say you got an issue, or you got an alert from the monitoring tool. How you handle it, how you resolve it, which teams you will involve, how soon you handle it, what are the types of issues occur, and how the scenarios, what is the situations you first check it, how you reduce the downtime. So, and what are all the precautionary steps you will take as an SRE for not happening it going forward. So this is like the step by step process from the start of an incident to the end of that incident. That is the incident management process. Okay, so as an SRE, we will do the automations, monitoring, incident process, and one more term called error budgets. Okay, error budgets is something, what we do in the error budgets is, let us say we have the multiple teams. Okay, we don't handle everything. We will coordinate with the other team. Let us say we have some Flipkart application. In the Flipkart application, let us say that Jersey's microservice is handled by one of the Jersey's team. So at that particular point of time, we will discuss with the Jersey's team, and we will concentrate on the something called error budgets. Okay, a term or policy. What is meant by error budget is, let us say a 1 month period of time. 1 month period of time. Okay, in this 1 month period of time, we will come into a agreement with this Jersey team. Okay, on what we will come into agreement. Okay, let us say 100% uptime. Okay, 100% uptime. Always remember, no one will provide you for 100% uptime. Okay, even the MNCs like Amazon, AWS, or Google, Microsoft, all these companies never agree. Let us say they are providing some service, they won't give you like 100% uptime. It will be either something like 99.9999% or 99.9997%, 99.998%, or 99.98%. You'll always see in terms of 99 point. Similarly, as an SRE, what you will is, you will come in terms of error budgets with the Jersey team. Let us say the Jersey's microservice, they want to be up for 99%. Okay, it is like you are not accepting for the 100%, so they can have some gap. Actually, it is here the error budget means, out of 100%, it is okay for them to have that 1% downtime. Okay, that is what we are agreeing with. Here we are having that uh, acceptance or agreement. It is not like everyone will have like no, we don't provide them like, hey, we will provide you 100% uptime or 100% reliability of this service. We will come into error budgets where we will agree like, yeah, we will be able to keep this service 99% of uptime. We will provide you that. Okay, we are giving that assurance and we will try to abide by it. Let us say we are telling them for the next 1 month period of time, we will make sure this service will be reliable by 99%. Okay, so that is called error budget. So we will be having some downtime that is feasible in as an SRE. So we will always encourage also whenever a service goes down, right, or some application is having an issue, as an SRE, we will always try to increase it. Actually, let us say 99%. In the next another month, we will may increase it by 0.00.1%. So we can have that feasibility here as part of the error budgets. Any queries there?
No, sir. Clear.
Okay. And the next thing is, right, like as I already said, there is a term called toil. Okay, so let us say we have the we already discussed. You need to understand whenever people say, hey, let us avoid this toil. Okay, when an SRE say let us avoid this toil, so at that point of time you need to understand what is this toil. Okay, so this is like, as I already discussed, manual work. Whenever something goes on, like whenever disk usage is filling up on a server too fast, or CPU usage is increasing by a particular service. Okay, so at that particular point of time, either you need to end the service or either you need to clear the disk usage. So every time you are doing the manual work, but it is always the same work. So at that point of time, you can avoid the repetitive work. You can avoid that monitor. You can avoid that manual work. Okay, so that particular thing is called the toil. Okay, the reducing of the or uh, avoiding of the repetitive manual or the operational work is called the toil. Okay, so by reducing the toil, we will be increasing the scalability. So how we will
So,
reduce the toil? Either we will using it the automations, we will be creating or the configuring of the new alerts, thereby reducing the manual work.
okay.
Okay, just nothing. Toil is nothing but avoiding the manual or operational work. Manual operational work. Okay, you don't want to do the same repetitive process again and again. Thereby, you will do the automation. Okay, so thereby avoiding the toil as an SRE. Simple.
Okay. Got it.
Avoid repetitive manual work. That is toil. Okay. Next, we have a very important concept actually. Something called SLO, SLI, and wait, sorry, SLA, SLO, and SLI. Service level indicators. Okay. So something called service level agreement, service level objectives, and indicators. Okay. The next concept is SLA, SLO, and SLI. Okay. A means agreement, O means objective, and I means indicator. You always call it as service level indicate agreement, service level objective, and service level indicators. Simply everyone will call as SLA, SLO, and SLI in your daily IT work. Okay, you will always see these terms and which are more crucial for your work in daily base. You need to understand what it means clearly. Okay, if you have any doubt, please feel to ask directly. The first thing as an SLA is, let us say we will directly go into the practical. Okay, then I will tell you like the proper definition of an SLA. Let us say you have the AWS. Okay, nowadays you will see a term called cloud computing. One of the cloud computing provider is the cloud provider is the AWS. In AWS, you will get the servers, you will get the storage, you will get the monitoring tools, you will get the containerizer tools, you will get everything actually. They will provide all the necessary infrastructure which is required. Okay. So let us say we have the AWS cloud provider and you are the customer. Okay. So what is an SLA? Service level agreement. The first thing as an SLA is, let us say this cloud provider has a service. Okay. Like you wanted to take some service from this so and so cloud provider. Let us say the service is you need some 1 GB of space from this cloud provider, AWS. Okay. Or let us say, or else yeah, you have a server or you want to take an instance. In AWS, we call a server as an instance. Okay. Let us say you are taking one server, and on that server, you have launched an application. Okay. You have this cloud provider, AWS. So as a customer, you took one of their service, which is the server. On that server, you have hosted your instance. Okay. So the SLA, service level agreement, it is between you and the cloud provider, AWS. Okay. So what is the cloud provider? The cloud provider assures you the service which you are taking. Okay. He will tell you that he will provide some certain amount of, like, let us say, you have the server, okay, which you are taking from the cloud provider AWS. So the cloud provider will assure you some certain amount of, like, we will provide you 99.9% of uptime for this particular service, because you don't want your application to go down, right? Let us say you are maintaining a similar application like Flipkart, and in order to manage the infrastructure, you took it from the cloud provider AWS. But what if the server goes down and the application always comes down? You don't want that. So you will have this agreement. It is an agreement. SLA is an agreement between the cloud provider and to the customer, which is the client. Okay. Here you will having an agreement to have the maximum uptime. So if it doesn't maintain the uptime, right, he will come to maintain it. Actually, if it doesn't maintain, there will be some consequences, because it's an agreement. It is like a documentation, you will be having it while before you purchase it. Okay. So any queries here on the SLA one? It's an agreement, Sachi, nothing, right? Let us say
No,
you are the
got it.
cloud provider, I am the one who is taking the service. So it is something like, right, when I am taking something from you, you need to give me the assurance. Okay. Like 99.99% or something, right? Let us say you I am paying you the rent and you are the house owner, tenant. Okay. While I am coming into your house, I will tell you, I will ask you, like, hey Sashi, do you have water availability here? Okay. So what you will tell, yeah, you have water. Actually, you have the Kaveri water available in the Bangalore. You will be able to get 100%. You will give me some certain percentage, and you need to meet it. Okay. If you are not able to meet it, either you need to give me some compensation. Okay, because you are not meeting, because you need to bring some tankers again. It's all your own, because in the starting of the agreement itself, we agreed like you are going to provide like 99.9%. That means out of 30 days, let us say for half an hour or 1 hour, if the water is not available, that's fine. But the 1 day or 2 days is like, let us say, like 5% or 10%. I mean, 2 days water is not there, then that is trouble. You are completely going out of your SL agreement on which you agreed on the start. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. The next thing is SLO. Okay. Let us say SLO is the objective. So here something, right? Similarly, the same cloud hosting example. Okay, we will take the same cloud hosting example where we have the again AWS. Okay. So here SLO is nothing but it is just the quantifiable target. Actually, here we are having like 99.9% is the agreement, uptime agreement, which came between the uh, customer as well as the AWS cloud provider. So here SLO is nothing but if the customer is able to meet that expectation or the quantifiable target. Okay. Uh, Here they have this particular agreement, right? So SLO is nothing but if the target, if they are able to meet the target or not. Simple. SLA is having some certain, this cloud provider assures you like I will provide you 99% of uptime. So here objective is nothing but it measures if the target is achieved or not.
Okay. Just like
Okay.
they met the conditions or not.
Not simple. Okay. The next thing is SLIs. Okay. This is indicator. here you will be having the monitoring tools. Okay, in the monitoring tools you will having like, let us say, some application. Here you are giving like 99% of uptime, but how you will check that? You will be having some data or logs, right? Like in order to check that if that particular thing is achieved or not. Okay, that particular uptime, did they really achieved, or are they just telling it by some mouth or just to blame game? You get it? So here something, right, using the metrics, like measurable metrics, you will be having some metrics where you will be able to find out using these indicators. Indicators means metrics. Using these metrics, these logs and everything, you will be able to see if this both SLA and SLO is achieved or not. Okay, SLI is nothing but it's a measurable metrics which you will be used to monitor and measure if both the SLS and SLOs. Okay, SLA is the agreement between the cloud provider and the customer. SLO is used to see if that particular is achieved or not, and SLI is the metrics in order to measure this both SLA and the SLO.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
can we move on to the next topic?
Yes.
Yeah, remember, okay, all these are very important. What are the roles of an DevOps engineer practically? What an SRE normally does in an organization? Okay, what is all about? What are all the things we have? Like, what is the toil work? In order to avoid toil, what we will do? Okay, next main concept is SLI, SLO, and SLIs. What is error budgets? Okay, everything is too important here. It is like we will use it as a daily terms. Okay, as an SRE, so you need to understand like what are all their main purposes. Every organization has their own SLA, SLO, SLS. Okay, this is just what I am giving you as an example, because SLS, SLO, and SLS, you need to, like, let us say you are an SRE team and you are monitoring some particular service. So you need to discuss with that particular Jersey's team. Okay, or some other team to understand like what is the uptime you want to provide to that particular customer, or what is the customer is asking for that particular uptime. So everyone has their own requirements. Some may say like 97% is fine, some may say like 98% is fine. So every organization has their own set of SLS, SLOs, and SLIs. So the next thing is, you will see something term called observability. Okay, most of the times this is something like, you will see a separate team. Actually, even some organization even have a team name called observability. What they will do is like, systems performance, right? Let us say we have the same system, Linux system or Windows system. They wanted to understand the performance of the system, or they wanted to understand the application, what is happening behind. They will use some certain monitoring tools, and they will monitor those logs, and they will get to know the internal health state of the particular system or the application. Okay, so they will be able to diagnose the system behavior. So most of the times this is called the observability. Okay, observability, it also comes under a SRE, and sometimes in some organization you will see it as a complete different team, like observability team. Okay, as I told you, SRE always comes with different requirements in different organization. So even when you find something term called observability, and if they tell, then you need to understand like, yeah, it is one of my work, just one of your work, because there will be many multiple works as an SRE you will do. So here as an observability, you will be understanding the system's performance using the logs. Okay, and using the monitoring tools.
Okay.
The next thing, yeah. So again, right, most of the times, right, similarly as an SRE, I am telling you, we also need to have a complete understanding of all the DevOps tools, similar to DevOps tools. We need to have the understanding of the SCM tools. We need to understand the CI/CD tools. We need to understand the automated tools like, I mean, the configuration tools like Ansible, and we need to understand the cloud, and we need to understand the monitoring tools. Okay, because every organization has their own set of responsibilities, as I am repeating it again, because everyone uses their own set of tools. Okay, so that is why we need all the tools, all these tools which helps in automating comes under the SRE tools. The next thing is something like, SRE mainly focus on a term called anti fragility. Okay, anti, you will see something called anti-fragility. Okay. Let us say you have a system where again you have an application, because that is how it works actually. You will be having a system and you will be having an application top of it. That is our work. That is why I'm telling you the same example. Don't feel forward, because that is the point of our work. Okay. Let us say you have some system, and let us say due to some high disk usage or memory usage or CPU usage or maybe some other purpose. Okay. The system went down. Okay. And system is having some failure. Okay. So, if it happens first time, fine. You will be involving the teams. You will be working on it, and if you know the cause, you will be working on it, and you will resolving it. If you don't know the cause, you will involve the appropriate team for the cause, and you will ask them to help, and they will resolve it. So it occurred for the first time, and let us say it happened the second time. Okay, so anti-fragility refers here, right? So the system's ability to benefit from that failure. Let us say the failure happened the first time, the failure happened the second time, it shouldn't happen for the third time, right? You need to handle it, like you need to either have some permanent fix, or using the incident management process, you need to get the root cause from the application team and work upon it and act upon it to make sure the same mistake doesn't happen thrice actually. Maybe it happened first time, maybe it happened second time, or maybe it even happened the third time, but the system shouldn't happen the same cause again and again. It shouldn't go to failure state from the same state again and again. Okay, so this is the concept called anti-fragility, which is something like a system's ability to benefit from shock and failures. Okay, and become stronger and become more reliable on over a time. Okay, this is called anti-fragility. I will give you all the notes, Sashi. I mean, maybe after once the end of the session, or maybe once after the end of the concept. But make sure whenever you have some doubt, directly ask me. Okay.
Okay.
And the next thing is like, yeah, as I said, right? In the incident management process, we will define like how we handle an incident and what has happened, like how we learn from the failures, all these things. And the next thing is like, mm, yeah, what is the use of SRE, right? Like, let us say a system which doesn't have an SRE, and or I mean, an organization which doesn't have an SRE team, and an organization which have an SRE team. There will be always a significant difference. Okay, let us say you don't have an SRE team, so you have multiple teams, you even have a DevOps team, but it doesn't help, because always SRE focuses on reliability of the system. That means the end customer satisfaction, because without the customer satisfaction, right, if you see like the system is always going down, the application is always going down, so at that particular point of time, you can't do anything actually. You will feel literally pissed off, because the customer literally pissed off and the customer doesn't come off, then the reliability of the system goes down, and obviously everything, the main is revenue. When the customer doesn't come and buy into your system, obviously your name of the company goes down, your revenue goes down, and your salary gets affected. So as an SRE, right, it completely affects the entire organization as a main or as a whole. When we continuously monitor, when you continuously automate, when we continuously follow up with the error budgets with the team, when we continuously reduce the toil work, when we increase the anti-fragility, by using the anti-fragility, by using all these, right, so we as an SRE increase the reliability of the system, thereby increase the customer satisfaction, thereby increase the revenue of the organization. You are observing, right, like how we an SRE contributing to the entire system.
Yes.
Sashi?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
So
this
this
is
is
how it is actually. Mm.
okay.
Are you saying something?
No, maximum this is for the like a software development team, right? And who companies deals with the software development.
It's not software development, Shasing. See, software development life cycle is a different, like where you will design. It's all different actually. See, here you are mainly focusing on reliability of the system. Like you will be having the software. I mean, you will be having the existing application. Okay. Let us comes in
Okay.
practical actually. Too practical, I will tell you. You have your application. Like you are an engineer of the Flipkart application. Okay, the first thing what as an SRE you need to do is you need to monitor the servers. Okay, you need to monitor the load balancers, you need to monitor the application. Okay, you need to monitor the entire Flipkart application. And if you don't have any alerting, you as an SRE will create an alerting for that Flipkart application. And then you as an SRE, whenever some issue comes up, you will learn from your mistakes and you will make that mistake doesn't happen again, either by collaborating with the teams, and if you have the solution, you will work on it and you will get to the bottom of the root cause. Okay, and or else either you as an SRE, you will create the automations to reduce the toil of the work. Okay, so what you are doing, you are either using the SLA, SLO and SLIs, you are reducing the toils, and you are increasing the automations, you are learning from your mistakes, you are organizing or you are configuring the alerts, thereby reducing the downtime. So everything is going for the reliability of the system. Here you are not directly writing a code and you won't directly develop a microservice. Okay, you mainly focus on the reliability of the system. You will need to understand the code, because either you need the Python language or either you need the mm, JavaScript. It may occur, but it doesn't completely based on the actually programming. Here you completely focus on the monitoring and automation using the scripting. Okay, and also the incident management process.
Okay, got it.
Okay, clear on that? Because
Yes.
make sure you need to understand what you are doing. Okay, that is what the first point. That is why I'm telling you. That is why I clearly explained on the practical steps on what a DevOps does, guy, and what our SRE does. Because you need to have the practical. Because if you go into the interview, right, I want you to tell like you joined as an SRE. Okay, because there will be SRE level 1, SRE level 2, SRE level 3. In every organization, I think you will see the level 1, level 2, level 3 guys, right? Even in the system
Yes.
admin 1, system admin 2, system admin 3. If the system admin does the prior triaging and if he doesn't know, he will escalate it to the level 2 guy. Similarly, you can tell something like whenever you are attending for interview, right? I want you to have the practical knowledge rather than the theoretical knowledge. Because when you are going for the interview, I will ask you only for the practical experience. I won't ask you like, hey, tell me what is anti-fragility. I won't ask you that. I will ask you only like, what is your practical experience? I will give you a scenario. Okay, let us say something happened. Let us say here SLA, right? They will ask you like, what, tell me what is SLA. They won't ask you that. They will ask you in such a way that, hey, let us assume you are working with one of the site experience team. Okay, and you have this so and so service where you want to uh, monitor continuously. So what is your SLA agreement with that particular service or with the particular team owner? So that is your practical question. Okay, so you need to tell it based on something like, yes, when I am working, like we have coordinated with the site experience team, and when we are working with the site experience team, we used to get so and so issues, and upon the agreement, SLA for that so and so service is like 99.1%. They may ask you like, why 99, why not 100%? You need to tell that as an SRE, we always won't give for the 100%. We will try to achieve like as near as possible. But even the Google and Amazon never provide for the 100% service, because it's not possible. You can't assume like what type of error comes, but you will learn from that mistake and you will conquer it, and you will do the automations, configuration of alerts in order to meet that SLAs. Okay, you need to give such type of answers. It is not like, hey, SLA is like agreement between the cloud. No one will listen to the a proper theoretical part actually. So that is why I always focus on the practical type of thing. Okay, it is like you have worked on SRE part. Okay,
Okay.
and most of the times, right, like if you want to understand the SRE evolution and everything, SRE evolution mainly came from the like initially it was implemented in the Google actually. Okay, in order to like Google has a lot of large scale systems. Okay, they have their own data centers. Data center in the sense, uh, there will be two types. Okay, when we will discuss the cloud computing concepts, I will tell you more clearly. For the bigger organizations, rather than buying from the other team, what they will do is they will be having a huge amount of capital. So a term comes as the data center. In the data center, they host their own servers. They manage their own servers with the infrastructure guys and the networking guys and the service level guys. So they have their own data centers. Data center is nothing but a building In that building they have their servers, their own servers. In that own server they will manage it and they will configure it and they work on it. Actually they utilize their own servers. Okay. But in order to use it, like there will be large scale of systems, you won't even believe it. In some MNCs, right, there will be like 10,000 plus of servers actually. Okay, either those Linux servers or maybe the Windows server. But in order to manage this, right, and if you are a big company, you obviously will be having the capital. But if you are a small company, right, obviously you will go, you don't want to put all the budget at the start itself. You will be going to the cloud providers like AWS or Azure or Google, Google, for uh, their services actually, in order to get less budget and less cost. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what we are discussing. Actually, this SRE, because of this, Google guys have a large amount of servers. They brought this concept of SRE in order to maintain the high scalability and the reliability of the system.